Tabung Haji recognised for Best Hajj Affairs Services. Pulau Pinang Airport able to handle passenger and cargo demand. Good afternoon, you're watching Updates at Noon with me, I'm Jessica Lee. Lembaga Tabung Haji or TH has been named the recipient of the Saudi Arabian Labaitom Award for the Best Service category for Hajj Affairs Office. The award was presented by Saudi Arabia Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Dr. Taufik Fazwan Al Rabia, to the Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Religious Affairs, Datuk Dr. Muhammad Naim Mukhtar, in a ceremony in Mecca on Friday.
Beliau Yang Maha Mulia Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong, seperti mana saya sebut tadi, sempat tag saya mengucapkan tahniah atas kejayaan tabung haji ini dalam menerima anugerah ini, dan baginda menasihatkan supaya tabung haji untuk tahun-tahun hadapan memastikan urusan kebajikan.
He added the system and efficiency of the management of Malaysian pilgrims has always been recognised as the best model in the world, which is often emulated by the international community. The criteria for this award include the application of technology to coordinate services to pilgrims, the preparation for worship and Hajj courses, among others. TH also received the Labaitom Award for the Best Hajj Guide Service and Program in the Islamic world. The Minister also congratulated TH's top management and employees for the accomplishment through a post in his official Facebook account. The Ministry of Transport, or MOT, said the existing facilities at the Pulau Pinang International Airport can still handle cargo and passenger demand based on the findings of the National Airport Strategic Plan, or NASP, consultant. Now, in a statement, the ministry said it has no objection to the implementation of Kedah Aerotropolis MRO Centre of Excellence and Sidam Logistics Aerospace Manufacturing as part of a mixed development under the Kedah Aerotropolis, but currently there is no need for the development of a new airport. The ministry also urged the Kedah state government to use the existing Sultan Abdul Halim Airport in Alor or Pulau Pinang Airport to support Kedah Aerotropolis MRO Centre of Excellence and Sidam Logistics Aerospace Manufacturing in efforts to expedite its implementation. The statement clarifies the government's stance on the issue surrounding the Kulim International Airport following claims that the federal government is being oppressive in budget distribution. Now, MOT said currently it is conducting the NASP study, which is expected to be completed by the end of this year, that aims to determine the direction of airport development in Malaysia. Smallholders in Peninsular Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak are eligible to receive rubber production incentive for IPG payments from the 1st to the 31st of July 2023 based on the June 2023 rubber production. Now, in a statement, the Malaysian Rubber Board, or MRB, said IPG rubber cup lump and activated latex for June 2023 in Peninsular Malaysia is 30 cents per kilogram for 50% dry rubber content, or DRC, and 60 cents per kilogram for 100% DRC. For Sabah, the rate is 65 cents per kilogram for 50% DRC and RM1.30 per kilogram for 100% DRC. While for Sarawak, the rate is 60 cents per kilogram for 50% DRC and RM1.20 per kilogram for 100% DRC. Meanwhile, the IPG rate for latex is 90 cents per kilogram for 100% DRC. In June 2023, MRB said the average farm gate prices for cup lump is RM2.40 per kilo for Peninsular Malaysia, RM2.05 per kilogram for Sabah, and RM2.10 for Sarawak. It also said that IPG would be activated if the average monthly price at the farm level for cup lump rubber is below the RM2.70 level per kilo beginning January 2023. Now, the increase in the new activation pricing level, or PHP, is an initiative made by the government in Budget 2023. Now, the government will be looking into the internal regulations to address dress code issues for visitors to government departments. Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Law and Institutional Reform, Ram Kapal Singh, said that the government would have to consider it very seriously as it could create tension among the people. He added that the government should also look into ways to regulate dress codes to be uniform across the board in order to avoid discrepancies in different states. It was recently reported that the Kota Bharu Municipal Council, or MPKB, had issued a compound notice to a non-Muslim Kelantanese woman for wearing indecent clothing. The 35-year-old woman, who runs a clothing business, was issued a fine for wearing shorts in a public place. It was also reported that a RELA member on duty at the Pulau Pinang Social Security Organisation, or SOCSO's office, had barred a non-Muslim woman from entering the premise on Wednesday because of her dressing. The unity government agenda will continue to be prioritised to ensure the coalition victory in the upcoming state election. Now, the aspiration is shared by Secretary General of Democratic Action Party, or DAP, Anthony Loke Siew Fook, who said the party is always ready to work with Barisan Nasional, or BN machinery, during the campaign period.
Jentera-jentera parti di peringkat negeri memahami mengapa kerajaan perpaduan ini perlu ditubuhkan. Saya rasa kita tak perlu, kita memang memberikan keyakinan kepada mereka. Setakat ini saya rasa di dalam DAP Negeri Sembilan tak ada suara ataupun persoalan mengapa kita bekerjasama dengan pihak BN. Tak ada. Saya tak pernah ditanya pun mengapa buat keputusan itu.
He said this at a media conference after chairing the DAP State Committee meeting in Seremban. Lok, who is also the assemblyman for Chena, said the DAP will include new faces to represent PH for the upcoming state election. Now, 2 local men were arrested in Manjung, Perak, suspected to be involved in an attempt to smuggle 35 illegal immigrants into the country. Manjung Police Chief ACP Muhammad Nordin Abdullah said the police were alerted about a boat carrying illegal immigrants being abandoned at a beach in Segari at 9:45 a.m. Acting on a public tip-off, a team of policemen was dispatched to the scene to carry out further investigations. Upon search, the police found a group of illegal immigrants comprising 24 men, 10 women and 1 Indonesian child hiding in the nearby plantation. Preliminary investigations led to the arrest of 2 local men at a seafood restaurant around Kampong Baru, Manjung. The 2 local men were remanded for 28 days, while all the illegal immigrants were remanded for 14 days to assist in further investigations. The case is being investigated under Section 26A, a TIPSOM 2007, Section 6, Subsection 1C, together with Section 15, Subsection 1C of the Immigration Act 1959. And we're very happy to announce this. Our very own news presenter colleague, Brandon John Lee Paul, has tied the knot with his longtime partner, Valerie Donicia Chin, on Friday afternoon. Now, their marriage was solemnized at the St. Francis Xavier Church in Petaling Jaya. The newlywed couple got engaged back in December last year after 10 lovely years of courting each other. In an Instagram post, Brandon, who is also a Trax FM DJ and Fresh Brew TV host, said that he's now in a state of total lockdown, announcing his commitment to his loved one. A lively reception was also held for the happy couple at a 5-star hotel in Petaling Jaya last night. It was attended by family members, friends and colleagues. From all of us here at RTM and the English News Desk, we wish Brandon and Valerie the best and a lifetime of happiness. Over 300 people arrested after unrest in France. That and more coming up in the foreign segment. Now, a total of 322 people have been arrested over unrest across France early today, though violence sparked by the fatal police shooting of a teenager appeared to be declining. Now, among those arrested were 126 people in the Paris region, 56 in Marseille, and 21 in Lyon. French authorities sent extra troops to flashpoint cities to deal with a fifth night of rioting as the 17-year-old whose killing by a policeman sparked the violent protests was laid to rest. Police arrested 1,311 people overnight Friday to Saturday, the highest figure since the violent protests began over the point-blank shooting by a policeman of Nahil M in the western Paris suburb of Nanterre on Tuesday. Now, gangs of teens organized on social media and armed with fireworks ransacked shops and attacked town halls in locations across the country. Interior Minister Gerald Damanon told reporters that 45,000 members of the security forces would be deployed overnight Saturday to Sunday, the same number as the night before. But extra forces and equipment had been sent to Lyon, Grenoble and Marseille, which saw the worst rioting the previous night. Local authorities all over the country announced bans on demonstrations, ordered public transport to stop running in the evening, and some imposed overnight curfews, as in Tourising. Now, a building under construction collapsed in an upscale neighborhood of Ivory Coast's economic hub, Abidjan, killing 6 people and injuring 9 others. Now, the building was an illegal construction coming up in Kokori, home to several embassies and the presidential palace. According to an eyewitness, the building collapsed within 45 seconds. Rescue efforts were ongoing at the site, with emergency workers searching through a vast pile of shattered concrete and debris. Such accidents are relatively frequent in Ivory Coast and elsewhere in West Africa, particularly in the rainy season due to poor enforcement of building regulations and the use of often substandard construction materials. Abidjan is undergoing a demographic and economic boom, and several illegal buildings are mushrooming in the Atlantic Ocean port city, a major gateway to West Africa. In 2022, the Ivorian government said it would step up efforts to boost compliance with safe construction practices after 13 people were killed in 2 building collapses in Abidjan within a 2-week period in February and March. The government spokesman Amadou Coulibaly had in March warned that such incidents would continue as long as builders flouted rules. Now, Twitter has announced that it would temporarily restrict how many tweets users could read per day in a move meant to tamp down on the use of the site's data by artificial intelligence companies. Now, the platform is limiting verified accounts to reading 8,000 tweets a day, while non-verified accounts are limited to reading 800 tweets per day. For new unverified accounts, the users would be limited to only 400 tweets. According to Twitter owner Elon Musk, the decision was made to address extreme levels of data scrapping and system manipulation by third-party platforms. Goodbye Twitter was a trending topic in the United States following Musk's announcement. Now, Twitter's billionaire owner did not give a timeline for how long the measures would be in place. The day before, Musk had announced that it would no longer be possible to read tweets on the site without an account. Now, much of the data scrapping was coming from firms using it to build their AI models, to the point that it was causing traffic issues with the site. Now, Twitter is not the only social media giant to have to wrangle with the rapid acceleration of the AI sector. In mid-June, Reddit raised prices on third-party developers that were using its data and sweeping up conversations posted on its forums. It proved a controversial move, as many regular users also access the site via third-party platforms. Next Last in sport, Verstappen wins Austria sprint race, claims extra points. Stay with us. Now, double world champion Max Verstappen ran away with the Saturday sprint race in a Red Bull 1-2 at the Austrian Grand Prix to increase his Formula One lead over Mexican teammate Sergio Perez to 70 points. Verstappen took the checkered flag 21.048 seconds clear of Perez in the 24-lap 100-kilometre stand-alone race, with Ferrari's Carlos Sainz finishing third. Now, Aston Martin's Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso finished fourth and fifth, with Nico Hülkenberg sixth for Haas, Esteban Ocon seventh for Alpine, and George Russell bagging the final point for Mercedes. In the aftermath of a wet-dry race at Spielberg, where Verstappen's triumph after surviving a first corner skirmish with Red Bull teammate Perez, there was much debate about racing in very wet conditions with little or no clear visibility. Perez said he had not seen Verstappen due to the poor visibility, and the pair had settled their differences. Team boss Christian Horner said that the pair had to avoid similar incidents in future and needed to ensure that they give each other space. In tennis news, Christopher Eubanks claimed his maiden ATP Tour title following a straight sets victory over fourth-seeded Frenchman Adrian Manarino in the Mallorca Championships final. Now, playing in a first ATP Tour final, Eubanks did not face a break point throughout the match before powering to a 6-1, 6-4 win in just over an hour. On Friday, Eubanks left no doubt in Saturday's final. Now, Eubanks is the sixth ATP Tour champion this season to save match points en route to the title. He did not face a break point in the match and closed. And this is our new segment, whether it is a technological advancement, preservation of cultural materials, or ecological systems by different people from all around the world, all have brought positive changes for the human race. To dive further, let's take a look at the world around us.
The world's most famous and terrifying live magic show is coming to Malaysia. Winner of Asia.
But first, Malaysians are urged to beware and prepare for supernatural incidents as the mysterious Indonesian magician and illusionist, popularly known as the Sacred Rihanna, comes to haunt Kuala Lumpur. The 30-year-old Marie Antoinette Rihanna Graharani, who went on to become the champion of the reality show Asia's Got Talent in 2017, is slated to perform in Kuala Lumpur this month. Now, called the Sacred Rihanna Conjuring Live in Kuala Lumpur, the one-night-only performance will take place at Plenary Hall, Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre on the 15th of July. In a video she shared on her Instagram recently, the illusionist has a message for those attending the show, which is to bring a small object of sentimental value that belongs to someone who has passed away, a small object that has a meaningful story behind it. Now, anyone brave enough to play are welcome to be haunted. The illusionist, widely known for her unique and hair-raising mysterious performances, also made her film debut by playing herself in The Sacred Rihanna Beginning, which was released in 2019. She had also taken part in Got Talent franchise in the US, UK and France in 2018, 2019 and 2022 respectively. Ahead of the release of the highly anticipated Barbie movie starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, a real-life Barbie dream house is opening its doors in Malibu for 2 overnight stays in July. The oceanfront mansion, decked out in hot pink, features a pool, multiple relaxation areas, and a dance floor. The fans will be able to spend the night in the house-themed room belonging to Barbie's longtime boyfriend Ken on the 21st and 22nd of July by requesting a booking on Airbnb. Now, all stays will be free of charge because, according to an Airbnb news release, Ken could not figure out how to put a price on Barbie's Malibu dream house. After all, Ken's thing is beach, not math. Now, Barbie, a live-action feature movie about the iconic and controversial doll directed by Greta Gerwig, will hit theaters 21st of July. A still life fresco depicting a possible ancestor of the typical Italian food, pizza, has been found on the wall of a house in Pompeii, the ancient Roman city wiped out by an eruption of volcano Mount Vesuvius 2,000 years ago. Although Pompeii is near Naples, the home of pizza, as 2,000 years ago, the most characteristic ingredients of the UNESCO heritage dish, such as tomatoes and mozzarella, were unknown. The archaeologists from the Archaeological Park of Pompeii assume that next to a wine goblet, a flat bread serving is depicted as a holder for various fruits with spices and a type of pesto sauce. The fresco was found in the atrium of a house with a bakery attached to it, where research was resumed last January after partial excavations at the end of the 19th century. Pompeii, 23 kilometers southeast of Naples, was home to about 13,000 people when it was buried under ash, pumice pebbles and dust as it endured the force of an eruption in the year 79 AD, equivalent to many atomic bombs. The Pompeii site, not discovered until the 16th century, has seen a burst of recent archaeological activity aimed at halting years of decay and neglect, largely thanks to a recently concluded €105 million European Union-funded project. Over in the southern Italian region, an ancient Greek altar for family worship dating back at least 2,000 years has been found in the Sicilian archaeological site of Segesta. Sicily's regional government said the altar was probably in use at the height of the Hellenic cultural influence, just before the rise of the Roman Empire in the 1st century BC. It had been buried for centuries by a few centimeters of earth and vegetation in the area of the southern Acropolis at the Segesta site, which is in the west of the Italian island. Segesta, renowned for its 5th century BC temple, was an ancient Greek city nestled between mountains. Besides the altar, archaeologists dug out a similar-shaped relic that they believe may have been a support for a sculpture. The regional government said both finds are perfectly preserved. Surrounded by glass and steel towers of London's financial district, a small low-rise construction made of reused materials has sprung up to make the point we have collective power to tackle climate change. The Greenhouse Theatre, built as Britain's first zero-waste theatre, is staging plays in London over the summer months when long evenings mean it has little need for electricity. The small portable structure, which is constructed each time the theatre moves location, is built from scrap wood. 26-year-old artistic director Ollie Savage said his target audiences, aged around 16 to 35, tend to be very worried about the environment, but pessimistic they can't do anything about it. He wants to show them sustainability can be easier and more fun than they might think.
So yeah, the Greenhouse is the UK's first zero-waste theatre. We use the power of performance and storytelling to spark climate action amongst artists, audience members, anyone that wants to come down, really.
He also sees theatre's role as helping people get beyond the daunting facts and figures of climate science through stories they can relate to. The small theatre space is set to host 15 other shows during its London summer season. Native Hawaiian Cliff Kapono is as likely to be found catching a wave as he is carrying out ocean research in his lab on Hilo Island in Hawaii. Often he is doing both at the same time. Kapono, also an assistant professor of Arizona University School of Ocean Futures faculty, is working with a team at Mega Lab to help fill this gap by leading a team of scientists to 3D map the planet's premier surf breaks to help better protect reefs around the world.
Yeah, I think being a surfer and a scientist as an occupation involves equal parts trying to surf the best waves on the planet, but also spend a significant time trying to figure out how we can protect these waves as well.
Really good. It does.
What makes the project special is that it uses a global pool of scientists and athletes who are skilled surfers to innovate new methods to study coral health and reef formation that influence the shape and speed of waves across the globe. Since its founding, the non-profit Mega Lab has published 112 scientific papers, undertaken 43 research trips, and surveyed 1,000 reefs in 12 countries, supported mostly by sponsorships including surfwear company Reef. An android robot, Ever 6, took the conductor's podium in Seoul on Friday evening to lead a performance by South Korea's National Orchestra, marking the first such attempt in the country. The two-armed robot, designed by the Korea Institute of Industrial Technology, made its debut at the National Theatre of Korea, leading musicians in the country's national orchestra. The robot, with a humanoid face, first bowed to the audience and started waving its arms to control the tempo of the live show. Choi Soo-yul, who led Friday's performance alongside the robot, said movements by a conductor are very detailed. But Ever 6's critical weakness, Choi said, is that it cannot listen. Lee Young-ju, an audience member who studies traditional Korean music, said the robot's moves, though impeccable in keeping the rhythm, lacked breath or the ability to keep the orchestra ready to engage collectively and instantly, which he said was essential in performance. Song In-ho, 62, another audience member, also said that Ever 6's performance appeared to be at an elementary level. However, the humanoid robot managed to guide 3 of 5 pieces showcased on Friday evening, including one jointly conducted with Choi. And that's it for this afternoon. Wrapping up with a recap of our top story today. Tabung Haji recognised for Best Hajj Affairs Services. Tune in to Malaysia Tonight, coming up at 8:30 p.m. now on TV1 and saluran Berita RTM. I'll see you later. I'm Jessica Lee. Malaysia Madani, tekad perpaduan penuhi harapan.